all planned when there are so many different dragons swarming that each have different strengths and weaknesses? How can you follow your training in that sort of situation? It would be pure chaos every time they attack Berk, and so the strategies are not going to help much at all. Furthermore, the main way the dragons attack the village is through fire. We see that the village gets badly torched during the attack at the start of the first movie, and we also know the younger kids are going to be cowering inside these buildings. That's where Hiccups left when he was a baby, so I assume this is going to be the case for pretty much every Viking child. For me, this would indicate that Berk could very easily have a decently high child mortality rate as a result of dragon raids alone, whether that's from burning to death or the more likely scenario, kids dying of severe smoke inhalation. Couple that with the fact that child mortality was already pretty high during this general era of humanity, and you can assume it'd be a population that's always under extreme threat of extinction from the direct effects of fighting alone. However, let's just assume that everybody on Berk is built differently, and they have so few casualties to the point they can maintain a relatively stable population. I doubt their population's growing, given that they've only got one settlement on their island, it seems, but it does seem stable enough to maintain their tribe and village. It's a little bit unrealistic, but it does work with what we've seen. However, this doesn't mean it makes complete sense for the village to keep on existing, because outside of the potential mortality rate, these people would be facing a lot of other issues. I think it's pretty clear their island is not huge, and people have been there for 300 years, as we know. Their population stability's kept them from building more towns, but they'd still need to eat. We see they eat fish, but the dragons also come to Berk to carry off livestock, which means they have to practice agriculture. Not only would they need to be able to grow fodder or have grazing land, but they need to have their own areas to grow crops that they could eat. This is stuff like grain so they could make bread, which is exactly the sort of thing they would need to eat to maintain strength. The issue comes, though, with the idea that dragons are constantly attacking Berk on the regular. Now, maybe you could argue the dragons only go to Berk and attack the town, but we know that a big part of the motivation to get food for the Red Death. They'd be going in search of the sheep and other animals, and it's not like it would make any logical sense for every animal to live right inside the town. They'd probably live in fields maintained by farmers. If the Berkians were less brave, they'd probably just let the dragons descend on the town and farms and let them steal the animals. But Berkians are pretty insane, and they always choose to in their homes and fight the dragon horde head on. Random farmer number 3 is fight or die for a sheep, and of course the dragons are going to fight back against him. This means fire being shot out, which probably catches the grass and could potentially spread to crops. If that happens, say hello to a famine. People have to eat, and when the food is either being burnt or carried off by dragons, it's not exactly ideal. Yes, you can eat